Gary, cold open question of the week.
Yes, sir.
If HBO comes to you and says, we want to develop a 4 to 5 season television series about your life, what years do you choose to have portrayed in the series?
Oh, wow. That's going to be a real boring series, but I'm going to say probably uh, the state college years. I think those were the more interesting times.
So 97 to
Yeah, 97 to
2001.
90 or, 2001. I think that's when I left. So, yeah.
So you think that was the most interesting time of your life?
I mean, we did a lot of stuff during those times. So, yeah, that would probably be the most interesting if you were going to put a story together. Yeah, definitely. We did some crazy stuff down there. So, I mean,
And who would play you?
well, I'll have to be someone younger right now. Because I mean, at that time, what 21 to 25 or something like that. So I'm trying to think. Let's see, someone that's younger right now that could probably pull it off. Ooh, I don't know, man. That's a hard one.
Maybe I'll give that to you as like homework,
Okay.
and then you can go through and find people, and then we'll post it on the Facebook page
I'll send you
as you announce your cast.
All right, yeah, I can do that. Oh yeah,
Right.
I'll put us all together and.
Oh, you're gonna cast me too.
Oh yeah, I'll do everybody.
But see, I would be an interesting character because I'm on the first season.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm not. Then I make return guest appearances.
Yep.
For like big episodes.
Yep.
Interesting.
Exactly. Heck yeah! All right, yeah. I will put this together. This will be interesting.
All right. Well, while you're putting that together, let's put together the show. Let's get it started. Tonight on the Brian Lennon Show, episode 51, the one about the Speakeasy. All right. So welcome in, as always, to another fine episode of the Brian Lennon Show. My name is Brian. I'm your host for this wonderful hour or so, joined by my co-host, Gary McDaniel.
Hello.
Gary, I'm drinking a Blue Moon tonight.
Oh, I am drinking a mango tart from Golden Road.
Ooh. However, I'm drinking it out of a George Killian's glass.
Oh, okay. Well, hey.
Always the contrary that I am.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like when you go to like those random bars and they just start filling beers up in different glasses that they have.
That's true.
Oh,
I like Blue Moon.
I don't mind Blue Moon.
It's probably one of my favorite beers.
I could drink that one.
And it's a Belgian one. I like the Belgian ones.
So do I.
All right. So, well, not a lot to get to, but we are definitely going to speak about. We're going to go in depth, Gary, to your trip to the Speakeasy. But before we get to that, I wanted to discuss a stat I found this week, and I did post it into our friends chat. And there's going to be a link to this on the podcast page. It's called like Your Life Stats, and it gives you a list of everything. You put your birthday in, and it tells you everything about like how many heartbeats you've had, how many times you've blinked, how many gallons of blood have pumped through your heart. Gives you rates on poverty and all these different stats. And then toward the end, it gives me this stat that apparently 10% of people born in 1976, which, Gary, is the year you and I are both born in.
Correct. Yep.
are already dead.
I seen that. That's
Now, doesn't that seem high to you?
I mean, it does. I mean, from the everyone that I like, we know that are from '76. I mean, I only know a few that have passed.
We do know, unfortunately, we know, 3 people that we went to high school with have passed. And we only graduated, I think there was 86 in our class.
That sounds about right.
So, but
But
it just seems like a very high number for, I mean, we're 46, 47 years old.
yeah,
Not, we're midlife, I guess now, middle age.
I mean, I could see like if the stat was like somewhere in the you know early 1900s when people didn't live past 30, but I mean now it just seems like that just seems a little high for, especially with the advances in medicine and things like that we have. But
Right.
Hmm.
So then I was thinking, like, does that make me feel lucky to be alive? One of the, one of the 9 out of the 10 that are living,
yeah,
or is it just depressing that 1 out of 10 people that were born the same year I was are already dead?
yeah, it's kind of a
Talk about thinning the herd. It's like,
yeah. I mean, you gotta. I don't know. I'll take it as the I'm still here. I'll go with that one. Sounds better.
that's true, I guess. Yeah, it just was pretty shocking. Like I said, I'm going to link the website to the show notes. So if you're listening, you can check it out on Substack, which is where you can find the Brian Lennon Show. It's the brianlennonshow.substack.com. There's no pop-up ads,
No commercials.
no commercials. It's free to subscribe, although we do offer an option of $52 for an annual subscription, which works out to be what, Gary? You're the accountant.
$1 a week.
Just $1 a week keeps us going, keeps the internet running, keeps buying the beer, all that good stuff.
Yep.
All right. Now, one other thing I want to talk to you about, Gary, before
Yes.
we get into your speakeasy story.
I'm ready.
So Friday, there was an STP tribute cover band called Dumb Love playing in Stroudsburg.
Okay. Yeah, I seen that. The text.
Tickets were $18, or tickets were $20. I was like, I might as well go to that. I'm not doing anything, right?
Yeah, you were a bachelor, weren't you?
I was a bachelor. So we'll get into that too. But no one wanted to go or couldn't go.
I know, I seen that. You know, if I was there, I would have went with you.
Yeah. And I'm like,
So you ended up not going, did you?
I didn't go. And it was, if it wasn't like an hour away, I probably would have went by myself.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have cared. The fact that it was like an hour away, plus the show didn't start till 8:00, and there was another band like opening up for them. So it probably would have been 10:30, maybe 11:00 before the show ended. I was like, and then it would have been an hour drive home.
Yeah.
By myself.
By yourself. Yeah, that's never
yeah, but it's just I'm getting to the point where I have a little bit more freedom to do stuff.
Yeah.
Because my kids are getting older. I still have, Bernie, he's still young, but I can do stuff, and now I just don't have anyone willing to do anything with me. Yeah, so I got whammied on Friday. But we'll talk a little bit more about my bachelor weekend and the weekend ahead because it's Father's Day. But let's, Gary, get into your business Friday. Now you had plans to venture to a Tampa speakeasy.
Correct. Yes. So there's this speakeasy over in Tampa, Ciro's. We
Hmm.
I've heard of it before, but never been. And a few of our baseball family friends wanted to go out, so they were like, "Okay, hey, let's get one of the VIP little areas or whatever, and we'll go out Friday." Well, the only time we could get was 10:30. A very busy place, which was like I'm like, "Ooh, 10:30." I'm like, usually I'm just getting home by 10:30, not going out. That was back in those days I'm talking about with the HBO show.
Correct.
Those are 10:30 night when you used to go out. But
Right.
so needless to say, whatever we did it. So
So did you take a nap? I know
I
we
did
had
I did.
discussed
I got
taking a
home.
nap.
I did get home about I think it was like five. No, I think I left about 5:30. So I think I got home a little about 6. Uh, we ate something first. 'Cause I'm like, let's get something to eat now. I wasn't 100% sure there was food at the place, but I guess there was. But I was like, but it's 10:30 at night. I'm not waiting till 10:30 at night to eat something.
True.
So we ate something, and then yes, I did take my like 2 hour nap, and then got up and started putting my outfit together. So we
And tell listeners what you wore.
so yeah, so I pulled out my black and red saddle shoes. I wore black pants. I wore a black shirt. I wore my black suspenders. I had a black tie on. I wore my red velvet coat and my black fedora. So I went dressed as if I was going to a speakeasy. So
And the missus.
she had a black dress on that was like uh, what do you call it? Not sparkly, but what the hell's that crap?
Sequins.
Sequins. Thank you. That's the word I'm looking for. She wore like a black sequins dress. So I mean, yeah, we were dressed up and we picked up our two friends. Um, got over there. Uh, we walked up. Now, first of all, I've never been there, so when we pulled up, we're like kind of looking. The guy's like, "Oh, you're here for this place? It's right around the corner there." We're okay. Well, it's actually it's like in a um, apartment complex. So like it's a giant apartment building. So as you walk down, like you'll see like the pool for the apartment building or whatever, and then as you're walking down the thing, you see just this random door just on the side of the wall. So you go walking up to the door, and like you knock. All of a sudden, the little thing opens up, and they're like, "What's the password?" So you told them the password, and then they're like, "Okay, you have a reservation." So we're like, "Yep." So they're like, "Okay, hold on one second." So then she came back, but it's like you don't even know they're there, and all of a sudden the thing just rips open real fast, scares the hell out of you. So then she's like, "All right, well, there's still people in the room." She goes, "But you could come in and hit up the bar if you'd like." We're like, "Okay, yeah, whatever." So we walked in, and I mean, it was a very tiny place. Like the bar was like a little area. There was only like maybe a couple seats, like seats at the bar, but there was like a couple small little tables right near the bar. And then,
Now, are the help dressed in a period costume?
so yeah, most like the guys were like a lot of the guys had like the uh, dress shirts and pant and like suspenders on. I think there was a couple that had like bow ties. Girls, not so much. They didn't like actually. The girl that opened the door, she looked like she was in jeans and a shirt. So that kind of threw me off. I kind of wished it was a little bit more like that,
Hmm.
but it wasn't. So I mean, we got in, looked at like the drink menu, things like that, and then they finally our other two friends made it. So then they finally had our thing open. Well, it wasn't really a room. It was more like a little section. So when you walked in, you go to the right bar area. Then the left, there was like a little hallway, and in that hallway there was little, not cubicles, but like just cutouts in like the walls, and then they were just basically netting that went over them to kind of give you privacy. So that was their VIP areas.
Like see-through?
But yeah, but I mean, very like I mean, you had to like really look in to see through it.
Okay.
But the other cool part about it, which I wish we were in, they had a back room, but it was a bookcase, and then the bookcase opened, and then there was like a whole back room back there with tables and stuff
Oh, okay.
for like parties or something like that.
So that's for bigger parties.
So it wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be, but it was pretty cool. I mean,
Now, did you have to pay for the booth, like your room?
no,
Was there like a
so,
flat charge for your room, or you
no,
just had a reservation for
it
that?
was it was just a reservation, but you only had 2 hours. But it
Okay.
worked out for us because we were actually the last reservation, so they didn't really rush us out after the 2 hours were up. They were just like, no one else was coming in, so you can hang on if you want.
Now, your server,
Mm-hmm.
male, female?
Our server was male. He walked into the thing. He came in. He was like, "Oh, I gotta get you guys waters and stuff like that." And then he seen me, and he's like, "He goes, oh man," he goes, "you are dressed." I'm like, yeah, thanks. He's like, he goes, "Oh." But we'll come out to find out later on, he's like one of the bar managers or whatever. Because as we were walking out, he was like, "Hey, if you ever need a job," he's like, he goes, "You impressed me with your outfit." He goes, "So if you're ever looking for something," I was like,
So a little part-time gig for
"Hey,
Gary.
I'm thinking about it now." So, but I mean, the drinks were good, fancy. My cousin
I
Justin,
looked I looked at the price.
yeah, they were. I mean, they could have been. Yeah, they were a little pricey, but they were good. I mean, they were your basic like.
So what did you that was the question I wanted to ask you, is like, what did you drink there?
Okay,
Because I was
so
looking at the menu, and there's a lot of creative drinks.
yeah, so they had their one section on the menu was like their period drinks. So like their ones you would have got back at that time, and then they had ones that were concoctions that their bartenders have come up with and all that. And then they had like your normal. Then they had like wines and like bottled beers, and then they had like other like spirits you could have gotten. Like I mean, they had more higher end
Absinthe.
stuff. Like they didn't really have like they didn't have Jack Daniels or anything like that. Like it was more higher end bourbons and like gins and whiskeys and things like that. But the first drink I had was called the Flying V, which had a bourbon in it.
Hmm.
Um, had a whole bunch of other stuff, but then it was smoked. So basically, he comes out. The drink is already mixed in like a little glass, and
So
then
now
there's
your
a
drinks
little,
are even smoking.
yes. So now the snifter comes out and it's sitting on top of a wooden board, and you can just see the smoke up inside the thing. So then when he came out, he takes the glass, takes it off, the smoke comes flying out, and then he pours the drink into the cup. So it was good. Uh, then I had a bee's knees. I went to one of their traditional, more
Like a period one,
period
right?
piece drink, which had the gin and stuff in it. It was good. It had some sort of, I don't know if it was like a dried apricot or something like as a garnish, and then it had lavender on top of it. So as you were drinking it, you could really like that's what you were getting was more like the lavender smell and all that. Um, and then I ended up going with what was one of the drinks that one of the bar other ones? Oh no, another period piece one, the penicillin. So it was interesting because it's made with like egg white, so it
Mm.
had like a frothy like top to it, and I don't know. There was something about it. There was like a weird taste, but it wasn't bad. And then my last drink of the night was they ended up having like another happy hour where it was only like $10 drinks, and I ended up just going with an old fashioned. So, but then we did try some of the food. A lot of the stuff was duck related. So like we had duck poutine. So
Ooh.
basically, you know, your French fries that are made with the duck fat, and then it was the duck on top with the gravy and like the mozzarella, like the chunks of mozzarella cheese in it. So that was really good. And then we also tried the scallops with that was sitting on top of a thing of risotto. That was fantastic.
Mm.
And then some of the other ones had there was a steak fritz there, so they were eating that. I tried a couple pieces. That was really good too. So I mean, other than that, I mean, it was good. The food was good, the drinks were good, but like I said, it just wasn't as
Wasn't quite what you were expecting.
yeah, it wasn't as like I thought it was gonna be more. You know, yeah, they would everyone would be like they'd all be dressed up. It would be like you know, kind of secretive type of place, and but
And they would be like, "What can I get for you, slugger?" Like,
yeah, exactly. But you don't get any of that stuff. So. But I mean, like I said, it was good to try. I don't know. I mean, like we were trying to think of like our other people that we might want to go out with, like, and I was like, we came up with a couple others that probably would like to check it out, but I mean,
Now, how many total were in your group? 6?
yes, there were 6 of us. Yeah. They're supposed to be
And
opening up another one. They're supposed to be opening up another type of speakeasy in St. Pete. So I'm hoping check that one out and see what that's. So.
now, was everyone you were with dressed?
Well, not the two that came later. They were just dressed regular. So,
Mm.
not, but no, I mean, like I said, it was a good time. We had a good time hanging out.
And was it dark?
So yeah, when you're in those little booth thingies, you
Hmm.
have the light option, so you can
Oh, you can make it as bright or dim as you want.
for brighten the lights. So that was nice. So we had that control of that. It got real hot because I mean, there's 6 of us sitting in that little area. I mean, we had, like each tenant sat on one side, as you can see in the one picture, and then the other 2 sat like right there, and then 2 sat across. So I mean, you got 6 of us in there with the curtain closed. So the body heat was starting to mix in with all the alcohol, and then with the food getting brought in, it was starting to get a little toasty in there. So, but it was a good time. It was good to try. I mean, I'll probably go back one more time. But I mean,
One more time.
there was a couple other drinks I would have liked to have tried, but I also was driving, but I mean, everyone else had a good time and got well lit up too. So, what I heard, there was a couple people that had a little rough next day. Took them a little bit of time to get motivated. I mean,
It happens.
we were the same way too, because I mean, you're drinking just straight up booze in most of these drinks, with just some little bitters and stuff like that. So a lot of it was just straight up alcohol, but didn't stop us from drinking the next day because then we ended up going to a bunch of breweries on Saturday, which is funny. And one of the last breweries we hit was called Bootleggers. So I'm like, oh, I got to go here. I'm like, make it a whole prohibition weekend.
Well, I saw that on Facebook, but I saw Colin was with you, and I'm like, I didn't think Colin was going to the Speakeasy. And then,
Yep, no, it was the next day. We talked him into coming to the kid's birthday party with us, and then hitting up a bunch of. But I mean, he made out because he got to drive us home. So
oh, there you go.
yeah, so we let him drive from Tampa all the way home.
How is the driving going?
Not bad. Actually, he did really well coming home. I mean, I don't know, because we were well lit up, and
Good.
it was like I'm like, oh yeah, you're doing great. Or he did. I mean, especially for not really driving on road like where he's been going more than 55. So I mean,
So he's slowing down around turns and stuff.
oh yeah, he's gotten better at that. Yeah.
Now, was he taking what, 19 home? Like,
So we we came over. We ended up finishing up a bar in Tampa. So we ended up going over the expressway back home, and then over Gandy Bridge, and then we got on 19. So
okay.
yeah, I mean that was his first time really like. 'Cause, I mean, he's only been really driving like back roads, things like that. He hasn't really. I mean, he's crossed 66th Street one time with when his grandmother was with him, but this was his first time actually like driving an expressway and driving one of the long bridges and all that. So yeah, he did really well.
Cool.
Get really to drive at that speed yet either. So
Yeah. Now, there will be a link, Gary, on the show notes to Ciro's, the speakeasy that you were at. So if people want to check out what it looks like, the drink menu, it'll be there on the show notes.
yeah, like I said, food was phenomenal. Food was really great, and like I said, even the drinks that we had.
Yeah. So this week, Gary, this weekend, um, as I said, I was a bachelor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Saturday, Joey was here, and we had made plans to go golfing.
Yeah, I remember you were talking about that. Yep.
Right. So we head out Saturday. We got to the golf course around 11 o'clock.
Okay.
Now we went to go play Summit Hills,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
which you have played many times with me. That was the course Bob and I mainly played
Yep.
back in the 90s.
Mhm.
So we show up around 11 o'clock on a Saturday. The weather was nice. There was like no cars in the parking lot.
Hmm.
Like weird
Were they-
how quiet the parking lot was. Like I didn't even know if they were open. So we go in to pay. I go to give the guy my card, cash only.
Oh, shit.
But there's an ATM, down the hall. So instead of him paying a 3% fee, I'm paying a 3% fee to take out cash now.
Yep.
So was not happy about that. Well, it was a $3 fee. I took out $100 to make it 3%.
I swear, Pennsylvania, I think, is the only place that still runs on cash.
Yeah.
Other places. It's so annoying.
So it ended up being $76 for him and I with the cart on a Saturday, which was I thought it was kind of expensive based, compared to like Pine Hills.
Yeah. I mean,
or even Blue Ridge Trail. And I wasn't sure how the course looked. So we tee off on the first hole. We finish up this, on the green. I'm driving. I have like my head down. I look up and I'm almost like ready to run into a tree. So apparently a tree had fallen on the cart path between like the first green and the second tee box.
They just left it.
And there was no way to get around it. It was like right at the beginning of the woods, so you just couldn't get around.
Yeah.
So I told Joey, I'm like, call the pro shop and see what we're supposed to do. So he calls him and he says, "Oh, just go around the I think it's the fourth green is by the first green." He goes, "Go around and you'll have to just backtrack to the second tee." He goes, "But thanks for letting me know about that." So then I'm thinking, like, are we the first people
I've ever played on this course
that are playing here today? But then as we like start going back to like the fourth hole, we see a group coming up.
Okay.
And I wanted to stop them and be like, "Did you guys see the tree that fell?" But whatever.
Unless it just fell right after they were.
Yes. So anyway, we play. I didn't play great. It was my first time playing all year, so it was, as to be expected. The course hasn't been touched, Gary, in the 25 years since I started golfing there. Or 30 years, really.
Oh my God.
So like the cart paths are dug up, like they're like a Pennsylvania road.
Oh jeez. Probably why there's no cars in the parking lot.
Yeah, people aren't playing it because it's just not being maintained.
Well, that the price too.
The sand traps are like non-existent or not cared for. I remember like back in the 90s, the course was maintained and there was some, wildlife and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like it's creeping into like the course. And then there's really like no difference between the tee box, the fairway, and the rough. Wow. It's like all the same grass. Just cut a little bit shorter. Like, so I said to Joe, I said, "Well, I'm, glad we're playing this because I had played it a lot. I wanted to play it with him just because I had played it, so much. But I won't go back there."
Oh, no, I wouldn't either.
Yeah. So then after we play a round, I said to him, "Do you want to go for lunch?" He was kind of like hemming and hawing.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Do you have plans already?" He's like, "Yeah, I kind of have plans." I'm like, "All right." So, after Friday, this is par for the course, pun intended.
Exactly.
So we go home and I decide I'm going to Father's Day is a great great week to buy clothes because all the men's clothes are on sale.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I decided I'm going to go shop because I need some polos for work and some shorts for summer.
Okay.
So I'm like, I said, if you leave, like, just make sure the doors are locked to Joseph.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, I got you. So I leave. I come back around 6:00. He had texted me. I left. He texted me about 15 minutes before. I just left and all the doors are locked. Like, okay. So Saturday, I just kind of hung out, read my book. And I was actually in bed by like 9:30
Oh.
because I was exhausted from golfing.
Yeah.
So Sunday, when I wake up, he's not here. Now, when he's at college, I don't know if he's home or not.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Out of sight, out of mind sort of thing. So I'm like, well, maybe he, and I had heard he was going away, but he never said anything to me.
Okay.
So I went to mass on Sunday, come home. He's still not home. So I text him, hey, are you okay?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I'm fine. He goes, I'll be home tomorrow. I'm like, okay. So he went to rumor is he went to Pittsburgh and went to the Mets game and the zoo with his significant other.
Oh.
So Sunday, then I'm home alone completely, except we have this feral cat now
Oh.
that Ruby's been taking care of.
Oh.
So I spent Sunday out in the yard reading my book with the cat laying beside me. I'm like, well, this is a real exciting weekend.
Bachelor weekend, yeah.
Yeah, bachelor weekend. I'm here in the yard with a cat. Ugh.
Oh my Lord. Yeah.
Yeah, so being a bachelor is definitely overrated.
I guess so. Jeez. Man.
Oh, so then Sunday. So Sunday, the local ice cream shop has buy one, get one Sundays.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I sent out a text.
Yep, I seen that too.
Who wants to go for ice cream? Nobody.
You even offered to pay.
And then I'm like, do I go myself and get two and have both of them?
Uh-huh.
But I'm trying to watch my figure. I've been going back to the gym.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm like, I can't do that. That'd be bad. So I didn't even have ice cream. And that's like my Sunday. I've been going like every Sunday night for ice
You have an
cream.
entire family to walk by. Oh, look at that poor sad old man.
Well, that was the other thing too. I'm like I've gone a lot of places by myself. But I'm like, do I go for buy one, get one Sundays at the ice cream parlor by myself? Like I've gone to the movies by myself. I go out to eat by myself.
Oh yeah, yeah, things like that is.
But I thought maybe the ice cream thing is
Yeah,
next level.
yeah.
So I don't know.
Mommy, could we invite the old man over to sit?
Yeah. Can we invite the man with the gray hair to come over and sit by us?
He looks lonely.
So, well, this weekend, Gary, it's Father's Day weekend.
Yes, it is a weekend of nothing. That's our plan. We're doing because we overloaded Friday and Saturday, so we're like, you know what? We're gonna hang out by the pool.
So you have nothing planned.
Nothing.
Now, is Shannon gonna make you grill?
No, probably not. We'll probably.
Do you grill? Who grills, you or her?
No. Well,
or you share?
I finally used the grill that I got. I think a couple weeks back when it was Colin's party we had here.
Mm-hmm.
I reused it. So, other than that, we don't really grill.
You don't grill?
No, we haven't even been cooking here. We've been ordering stuff out. Today was the first day. She had to go to work, so she's actually going to. She was going to dinner tonight with the people from work. So I told Colin, I'm like, listen, I'm like, let's just find something at the house. So I had hot pockets, and he had mac and cheese.
Shit.
Because I'm like, I don't feel like buying any more food. I'm like, screw this. Let's just eat whatever we got. Whatever we got was what we're eating. So that's what
You're eating hot. You had hot pockets for dinner.
I did. I had hot pockets. Yep, ham and cheese hot pockets.
Oh gosh.
Yep, that was my dinner. So,
You don't have a burger or a hot dog you can throw on a grill?
no, because no, we do. I just don't have any buns. I would have to stop, and I was like, I'm not stopping anywhere. When I'm leaving work now, I just want to come home. I'm so tired. Like
After a week. Was this your second week?
second week, yeah, it's rough getting back into that groove again.
Yeah.
But now tomorrow, I told him I'm like, we'll order something tomorrow. She's going in again and having dinner again, so. But yeah, because he wanted pasta, and I was like, we'll have that tomorrow.
Oh. All right. Gary, did you see the I-95 bridge collapse?
I did not see it, but I heard about it.
Okay, yeah. So apparently it was Sunday morning. A truck, I guess it's called a tanker.
Yeah.
That had gas in it. Was heading to a Wawa.
Okay.
It was trying to take the turn. Didn't make it. Ended up crashing like underneath the overpass.
All right.
Caught on fire. And I believe it's the north section of I-95, which anyone who lives on the East Coast knows it runs all the way from Maine, all the way down to Florida.
Yeah.
All right. So eventually, I guess it got so hot, the bridge collapsed.
Oh, jeez.
So the whole north end was not there.
Wow.
And then I guess the heat and the fire caused damage to the south side of the bridge. So that's close. So basically it's actually the busiest road in Pennsylvania.
Say, yeah.
Is kaput.
Wow. Crazy. Yeah, I just heard about it. I didn't. And you know what? After you said, I was like, I'm like, oh, it didn't even dawn on me. I'm like, oh, 95. I'm like, oh yeah, shoot, that's the main road there. So
Yeah.
wow.
Now, Gary, I want to bring something back up. If you recall, a few weeks ago, when I was talking about that car that was trailing me on the highway with the camera, do you remember I said if the enemy was going to attack, it would probably be the highways?
Huh. Interesting.
So, and this is kind of just a case in point, perfect example of, just it's one overpass, but yet it's blocking, shuts down the whole interstate.
Big interpass. So was there any casualties? Was the truck
Apparently a body was pulled from the wreckage, but I guess they haven't identified it yet.
So it wasn't the driver, was it?
I'm assuming it is, but I don't know.
Interesting. So there were no cars going over it when it collapsed then?
I don't believe so.
Shut it down before.
They must have, because it was probably flaming inside, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, the good thing is it happened at 7 a.m. So there wasn't a lot of traffic.
And that was on what? Was that
Sunday morning?
Sunday morning. Okay, yeah. So
yeah,
I was gonna say Monday morning might not have been a good thing, but
yeah,
Sunday, that's
But now they're even saying, I guess this has happened in other parts of the country where an overpass collapsed, and I think the amount of time it took was, I think there was one in California, that took 46 days to repair. And I think there was maybe one in Iowa or something that took 36 days or 35 days. So best case scenario, we're looking at, over a month.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, this is, it's going to be June and July where everyone is,
Traveling
on vacation.
Oh, yeah.
So, and then I think Pete Buttigieg, the Secretary of Transportation, mentioned that this is also probably going to have an impact on prices in the Northeast because companies will now have to pay more in trucking expenses to get around this, detour. And probably also tolls and stuff like that. And of course, that gets passed on to, Joe America. So.
Yeah, that does suck. I mean, like I said, I don't know. I mean, down here, like they put up bridges left and right down here. So I mean, like or overpasses, things like that. So I mean, either they take their sweet time doing it because they're trying to milk some cash or whatnot. But I mean, I've seen them down here do it, and it's like stuff goes up pretty fast. So
Well, I've seen them on Facebook put overpasses together in like overnight.
yeah, that's what they do down here. They work at night. They put them up because we'll be like all of a sudden I'll be driving by one day, and then the next day all of a sudden giant thing. Or I'm like, holy crap, they got that up pretty quick. So, but yeah, so we'll see what happens. I mean, it's 95. They got to get that sucker up and running. I mean, the other two that maybe went down may not have been as busy as what 95 is, but
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, 95 is probably one of the most traveled roads.
Yeah.
So. And now it's time for Gary's News of the Weird with your host, Gary McDaniel. All right, let's go to the newsroom in Tampa.
All right, so we're
joined by Gary McDaniel.
We are going to do a story that we've done a little while back.
Oh boy, an update.
It's an updated story. Florida's Dr. Deep resurfaces after a record 100 days living underwater. Key Largo, Florida. A university professor who spent 100 days living underwater at a Florida Key Lodge for scuba divers resurfaced Friday and raised his face to the sun for the first time since March 1st. Dr. Joseph Dituri set a new record for the longest time living underwater without depressurization during his stay at Jules Undersea Lodge, submerged beneath 30 feet of water in a Key Largo lagoon, which I didn't even realize that I was down there. I probably should have swung by and waited. The diving explorer and medical researcher shattered the previous mark of 73 days, 2 hours, and 34 minutes set by two Tennessee professors at the same lodge in 2014. It was never about the record, Dituri said. It was about extending human tolerance for the underwater world and for an isolated, confined, extreme environment. Dituri, who also goes by the moniker Dr. Deepsea, is a University of South Florida educator who holds a doctorate in biomedical engineering and is a retired U.S. Naval officer. Guinness World Records listed Dituri as the record holder on its website after his 74th day underwater last month. The Marine Resource Department Foundation, which owns the lodge, will ask Guinness to certify Dituri's 100-day mark, according to Foundation head Ian Oblick. The most gratifying part about this is the interaction with almost 5,000 students and having them care about preserving, protecting, and rejuvenating our marine environment, Dituri said. He plans to present findings from Project Neptune 100 at November's World Extreme medicine conference in Scotland. So I guess he decided to come back up. I remember in the last article, he wasn't sure if he was even going to come back up after the 100 days.
Yeah. So he resurfaces, and Gary, you resurface with the story.
Yes, exactly.
Did it say like what he like the first thing he did when he got out?
I
Like,
don't.
did he have like a Big Mac or something, or?
No, it didn't say anything about him doing anything after he got out. So, nope, nothing.
What do you think the first thing you would do after 100 days underwater?
Ooh, man. Especially being by
You,
yourself,
you would need a cigarette.
I would need a cigarette. I mean, it depends. I mean, did they send me down with any alcohol?
They
Not.
had to have sent you with something.
I'd have to have something like that. Yeah. And then so.
Ice might be a problem though, right?
Hmm. Well, I'm sure he had like a freezer or something down there, but well, yeah, because I mean, they have to have
How
something.
would you keep stuff cold down there?
Well, it was like a freezer. He was in kind of like a, almost like a little hotel type thing, I guess, or something.
But then you have to have electric running down to the
Well, I'm
capsule.
sure they had something. He wasn't like it. Like it's like a marine place where I guess they have like a room that's like underwater.
Yeah.
He was staying somewhere like that. So. But
Okay.
he had to have something for food to cook food, things like that. So.
True.
But yeah, probably a cigarette and a lady. That would be my thing when I came back up.
There you go. Well, welcome back, Dr. Deepsea.
Dr. Deepsea. All right, and talking about highways, pigs run loose on Metro Highway after semi-truck tips over in Minnesota. Pigs run loose on a Metro Highway after a semi-truck that was carrying 50 hogs overturned, causing an hour-long shutdown Friday morning in Minneapolis on Interstate 694. State troopers tried to corral several loose pigs that cameras showed running through traffic. The truck tipped over about 7:35 a.m. There we go, another 7 o'clock in the morning, and caused morning rush hour traffic to back up for more than a mile. The truck driver was not hurt, according to Lieutenant Gordon Shank with the Shank with the Minnesota State Patrol. 10 pigs died in the crash.
Ooh.
Authorities rounded up the pigs, some of which were injured. Investigators are looking into what caused the semi to tip on its side as it navigated the curve on I-694 where it joins with northbound Interstate 35E. Nearly 5 years ago, more than 20 pigs spilled onto the road in a more rural part of the state after a semi-truck overturned at a highway interchange near Mankato. About 90 pigs had been in the livestock trailer, and some of them died. The driver suffered minor injuries. And last year on Pennsylvania Highway, several monkeys escaped when a truck that was towing a trailer of 100 monkeys collided with a dump truck. The truck had been on its way to a lab. The drivers weren't harmed. Jeez.
Well, Gary, you know what this the driver, who obviously is reckless.
Huh?
He's a road hog.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
Gary, what do you call a pig who does karate?
I don't know. What do you call a pig that does karate?
A pork chop.
And
Gary, remember the pig I owned?
no.
I entered him into a pig race, but he pulled a hamstring.
Oh, Lord.
Gary, what do you call a pig with no legs?
I don't know. What do you call a pig with no legs?
A groundhog.
Oh,
And the last one here. What do you get if you cross a dinosaur with a pig?
well, I don't know. What do you do?
Jurassic pork.
And that is the weird. Oh my God! I just like that the opera's name was Shank.
Yeesh.
That's fantastic.
All right. Well, Gary, some quick hits here before we head out for the night.
Do it.
Congratulations to the Denver Nuggets who won the NBA Finals last night.
Oh, did they? Oh, shoot, yeah.
Or I should say Monday. You're not a Heat fan.
No, not really. I'm not really a basketball fan much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Well, the Nuggets have been around.
When it comes to the finals, I do pay attention. I like to see who's in it, but
yeah. Well, the Nuggets have been around for 47 years. This was their first finals appearance and their first championship.
Oh, good for them.
Trump pleads not guilty today, Gary.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch any of that coverage?
Nope.
No. And then we didn't get a chance to discuss this, so I think this is sort of old news. But the Republican primary race, former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie has officially entered, and former Trump Vice President Michael Pence has entered.
I knew about Pence. I didn't know about Christie.
Yeah, apparently he had a town hall on CNN earlier this week. I didn't get a chance to watch it. But he is coming after Trump, and he's sort of taking the approach I thought the candidate who wants to unseat him has to. And he's basically just calling Trump out for his ridiculous behavior and the way he talks and all that.
You got to do if you want to beat him.
Yeah. And then Gary, I found out today Michael Jordan owns a private golf club in Florida.
Oh, does he really?
No, you didn't know.
I did not know that. No.
Guess where it is.
I would want to. I'd say I want to say Jupiter, West Palm area.
You're exactly right. It's in Jupiter.
I was going to say that's where a lot of the money is. So.
No, that's where your in-laws live, correct?
Exactly, yep. Okay.
Now the name of the club is Grove XXIII. So Grove 23, which of course was the number Jordan wore. Mm-hmm. So you've never heard about the club?
I have not.
Or driven by it or anything like that when you're out there?
Located. See if it's anywhere near where they're at. So I'll have to look that one up.
Yeah, you'll have to check that out, and maybe you could jump the fence or something and give us like a first-hand account.
Walk in. What's going on?
And then next week, Gary, is episode 52.
Mm-hmm.
Not to be confused with Area 52.
Exactly. This is Area 51 right now.
Is that the right one? Area 51?
Area 51, yes.
Okay. So next week is our 52nd episode, which...
Should have done all alien stuff today. Area 51.
Yeah, we should have. Well, there's this whistleblower keeps bringing up new stuff. I read an article today that apparently the Vatican had knowledge of a craft that crashed in Italy in, I think, 1943. But then they gave it to the Americans. I guess the Americans came and picked it up sometime around the, I think it was right after World War II, maybe.
Interesting.
So
look more into that for our
Area
2 coverage.
Yeah, so 1 year anniversary of hosting the podcast together. I was thinking, Gary, of just sending an invite. Now, again, people don't want to hang out with me, so no one would probably even
show up.
show up. But I was thinking maybe just sending like a mass email to our podcast for next week, and whoever wanted to join us could join us.
All of our old former guests, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
So I think next week we'll talk about some of the highlights of the show for the first year and some of our favorite episodes, and
I like it. Sounds good.
Things like that. I've on the Facebook page for the Brian Lennon Show, I have started to share some of past clips from the shows. So that'll be it's already started, but all week I'll be releasing like two clips from the vault, if you will, for people to check that out. So do like us on Facebook as well.
Enjoy. So yeah, all right.
So anything else, Gary?
No, have a happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to you.
And enjoy your weekend.
Enjoy your weekend of nothing.
I will. I'm going to sit by my pool and sit.
And enjoy your Hot Pockets tomorrow.
Oh yes. No, tomorrow I'll have something else. No. I do have another round of Hot Pockets though, but I'm saving those. So.
Save them for a special occasion.
Exactly. Nice bottle of Chianti.
All right, that's going to do it for us tonight for the Brian Lennon Show. I am Brian Lennon. As always, thank you to my co-host and producer extraordinaire, Gary McDaniel. Have a great week.
Peace out.